I hope we can do it in one take in less than 15 minutes. Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is me, Grisha, and today we're going to find out whether the title of this video that you have seen and you have clicked is true by any means. So without further ado, let's roll. This is a very exciting video for me because this is actually my work will be revealed here, and the work that I have done in maybe past 6 months. This is the Sigma house, and I'm super excited to share this project with you because it has been designed in a way that I have never worked before. So I was my own client. The house was built to accommodate my needs or my thoughts or my values of how the house should look like. But before we go into deep, I would like to share a little brief of this house. It's a business idea, well, first of all, and the house would be replicated many times, hopefully, in the future. But before we started designing, we knew that it had to be suitable for advanced Asian villages, which is common here. It had to be extremely sustainable. It had to be very minimalist. It had to be construction team friendly. It had to be extremely valuable in terms of architectural beauty, but at the same time it had to be very cost effective, so without breaking the bank. We were targeting into the very lower niche of the market, of the real estate market, so it's like maybe 10+% than the minimum house that you would get in the same area, the price of the average house. So without further ado, let's talk about the house. I'll share with you everything that is in here. Okay, let's roll. So now we will be talking about the main facade. This is the first thing that you actually see when you're getting to meet the house. Okay, so it's a very blank, very brutal in a way, very minimal, just 2 blocks making this shape, in which the absence of one part is actually the parking lot, and the rest is a house average of 200 square meters. It has 3 stories. Well, I'll share the numbers here, you know, the exact areas. So this is very, I think, great idea to be as simple as possible in terms of visual appearance, although it came out not that easy, but still. So we have basically just a blank facade that has no visual destruction, although there are some windows on the upper floor that are translucent, but they're not transparent. So basically it's just a white block. Okay, so let's move to the site plan. The way we place the house is a little bit different rather than it's being done here. So we are kind of squeezing the house in between the neighbor's house. Usually people build here like the full width of the land, and that causes a lot of problems. With squeezing the house just a little bit inside, we are getting a lot of ventilation all around the house, especially the first floor. We're getting bounced reflected sunlight to illuminate the lower ground floor, which is the kitchen and the dining area. And we're also getting a lot of possibilities to feed this house with the future land that may have just a little bit irregular shapes, and these gaps will take care of that. Okay, so it's a very simple, very effective way of building this house in the future, even if the land is a little bit out of the original size. So let's skip to the first floor plan or the ground floor plan, depends where you're from. So once we're entering the house, on the upper side for you will be the dining and kitchen area, which is quite simple, elegant, yet very attractive to my taste. So it has few blocks, which is one of the main is the concrete island, which is the main working space where people get to cook, prepare food, and we have the dining table. So this space is basically divided in 2 zones, is kitchen and dining, along them, along two sides, you can see there are two glass walls and there are no back walls. So the back wall will be just an opening to the inner garden that will have a lot of vegetation inside. So since we're here and we have a lot of rich plants, I think it's a must to have them at least somewhere, especially when we can actually plant them directly to the soil, and so people will get enjoyment out of this small garden. Besides, of course, the pretty cool ventilation, so all the cooking smells there just will pass easily out of the first floor. Okay, so we're moving towards the guest bathroom. I guess there is needless to say, so we have to have one. Then we're entering to the staircase, which is narrow. It pushes you in towards the second floor.
Would you come with me and run away?
So the second floor is the main living space of the whole house. The main area on the upper side is it has a void, so the height there is about 5 meters high, which has a huge full height window, the foldable window, which will hopefully open a view to maybe a Balinese roofs, maybe even some mountains or rice fields, who knows, it depends on the site that we build this house on. So this huge window will allow us to get basically the whole wall will disappear and you'll have access to the city that you live in, so you will be really connected. It's not just a small opening, but it's just a removal of the whole wall whenever you're opening the window. So this is the main living space, as I have said before. It combines of the like a lounge sofa there, so you can arrange the sofa in a way that you actually need. They're being movable. And you can see there's no visual TV here. So what I'm suggesting is to have just a perfectly rendered surface on the wall, which will allow you to have a projection projecting at the wall and having you really big, nice picture with a high quality. It's actually inexpensive these days, and I think it's a great idea to have this type of projection on the wall rather than just having a small TV hanging on the wall. So I guess all the enjoyment will come whenever you're getting to feel it and to actually to understand why is it made this way. As you can see, the structure of the house is brought inside into the interior, so many of the elements of the structural elements actually serve a double purpose rather than their own structural purpose, of course. They're also being used as a shelving for hi-fi gear, or maybe for some art in the future, or maybe just as a benches. So this is the lower beams that are actually supporting the slab of the second floor. And I think it's such a great idea to have things doing a multiple purpose, especially as a structural element, so they're serving two purposes. Okay, and this is one of the approaches that I used here, so it's very efficient in a way that I just think in advance how we can utilize things that are maybe not meant to be utilized in the first place. Okay, so now we're moving to the guest room, or the maybe children room in the future. So it also contains of its own bathroom dedicated only to this room. It has its own walk-in closet. It has an access to the open skylight, which is actually, the skylight has no floor, it has no direct through opening, but it has a net which can be used as a hammock, or maybe can be used as a playground for children. Whenever they're playing, they can play there. Or you can serve your surfing boards, I don't know, whatever. But I think it's such a great thing not to have just rails somewhere there, but so people won't fall, but actually use the space as well. Of course, the skylight is meant to have reflected sunlight or just a daylight during the day. So we're keeping things private in this house, but we're also illuminating it with a nice natural light, so you get the feeling of the natural illumination. The huge doors that are actually revealing this space is made out of woolene, and this is where I would like to make a note that it's not actually the main color palette or the material palette of this house is really simple. So basically it's just concrete, it's some rendered walls with a white paint, and woolene wood. That is, I think I have one here. So it's a natural wood, really cool. I think, I'm not sure whether you can see it here, but it has some, well, first of all, it's very hard wood. It's extremely dense. It's water resistant. It's kind of reclaimed wood, so it was used before, which is even better. And if you can see here, it has some certain not just a grain on the wood itself, but it has kind of like scars from the sawing, from the cutting blade. So I think it brings a lot of character into the house, and I think it's really, really brutal in a good way. So this is not just a board that we use to do partitions or some woodwork there, but it's also how we cast concrete. Okay, so this is basically the material that the framework will be made out of. So we are using this material twice, and we don't have to spend money on plywood, then later, after it's done its thing, will be just thrown away. So we are saving a lot of money here with reusing it later for doors, panels, cabinetry, well, not really cabinetry, shelving, and some other stuff, some other furniture. So this is one way of keeping the budget and the costs down, okay, by reclaiming wood. So that was a guest bedroom, and you can see that there is a very big door that can be used if you have kids. You just slide it in and you have one big volume space, so kids can have their own going on without actually losing the connection with the rest of the living area. So they're being present in the same volume of the house. I think it's such a great idea not to have small doors, but whenever we can have them as big as possible, so you get this two volumes combined together. I think it's such a cool way of having this inner volume of the house. You can see we have a staircase which is made out of roll-coated steel. We can go up on the third floor, which is the master bedroom. Once we reach to the third floor, you can see that it's just one big space dedicated only to the master suite. So it combines of the master bedroom, master bathroom, and we have a walk-in closet similar to the one we had downstairs, but it's a little bit bigger in this case. Also, it has access to the skylight, also facade windows that allow for its ventilation and for some translucent light entering to the bedroom, just to keep it well illuminated. It also has a very elegant wardrobe, which is also made out of woolen and just some railing. It's very simple. We don't have any built-in furniture here. It's all being made on site by construction team, so I think it's also a huge saving to have everything built on site with a local carpenter. And there's also a master bathroom. As I mentioned before, it also has a really big sliding door, so you can just easily enter the bathroom, and it has a window that will hopefully open up a really unique view for you in the morning, and it's actually a glassless window, so just an opening. You can enjoy the sun and of course the view, which will be, because it's a third floor, and I think this is a pretty high point, just to open up the really cool panorama. So here it is, that's the master suite area. So there are two panels that slide in and allow the right one will allow you to access to the roof, which is, in my opinion, is one of the most exciting areas in this house, because it's basically just an empty balcony with a green lawn, which you can use for just some relaxation there, rejuvenation, or maybe for yoga in the morning, or maybe just doing barbecue. Anyhow, you can spend your time with your partner and just enjoy being outside, without leaving the house. So the way that we have designed the roofs is actually also pretty cool, and I think by having grass lawn is a highly efficient way to cool down the building inside the interior, and to keep it very green and very natural. So whenever you're stepping outside, you step on this nice grass lawn, and what can be better, than have your green roof on the third floor. So that was just an entry description for this house. I guess that you will understand that it has such a much more ideas behind this aesthetics. We have a lot of things that we have actually optimized. We have a lot of things that we actually made simpler than it usually being done. So with this approach, as I have mentioned in the last in the previous video, which the link will be right here, which was called the Radical Pragmatism, we can actually save a lot of money. And with this, such a cool interiors and exteriors here and architectural decisions, we can enter the lower segment of the real estate market. We're coming back to the title of this video, if this is the best affordable house. I would like to know your opinion down in the comments below. What do you guys think? Is this the house that you would rather get than the average house that people build for themselves with their own vision in mind? Or you'll get something that is professionally done with a budget just maybe a little bit higher that exceeds the average house by 10 or 20%. Let me know what you think down below, and we will guys see you on the next one. Goodbye, thanks for subscribing if you did not, please do, and see you on the next one. Goodbye. Okay, so that was under 15 minutes.